Someone told this guy to be there or be square, and he took it literally. Got him. Okay, so the second season of the Umbrella Academy ends with a big cliffhanger, and throughout this video we're going to be breaking down everything we know so far about the mysterious Sparrow Academy. We'll also be going over Lila and how she may actually tie into the group themselves, so make sure you stick around until the end as we've got a big theory on her inclusion. Now obviously there's going to be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't had a chance to watch season 2 yet, then what the hell are you doing? I heard a rumour that you watched the entire thing. If you're still here, then welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, aka YouTube's number 2. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so Lila Pitts is one of the big newcomers in season 2 that ends up becoming attached to the Umbrella Academy in several ways. Like the members of the group, she was born on October 1st, 1989, with her mother showing little to no signs of pregnancy. Unlike the family though, Lila was not adopted by Sir Reginald Hargreeves, and instead she was raised by her parents in London. After realizing that superpowered beings may one day lead to the downfall of all life itself, the handler decided that she needed to build her own army of soldiers, and thus she started to put a plan into action. Because there were 43 children, all born with special abilities, this massive number could vastly overwhelm any army on Earth, and the character came to the conclusion that she would need to match them on a level playing field. So she started to study the individuals that would add the most to her army, and this is when she came across the one-size-fits-all solution to her problem: Lila. Lila has the ability to mimic those with superpowers, and she's very much about taking one's strength and turning it into a weakness. Due to years of practice, Lila is able to completely master someone's abilities within an instant, though her powers are limited to one person at a time. We see this demonstrated to great success in the finale when she tells Allison to stop breathing, and yeah, you know what, you went too far. Now we discover that the handler was responsible for Lila's parents' deaths in 1993 and that she hired number 5 to kill them. In case you don't know, the Thames Commission travel through time, assassinating people that may eventually become problematic, and the handler made the job seem like the utmost importance to 5, hiding the truth about her true intentions. After 5 had disposed of the pair, the handler took the child and then started to train her. Lila is already an expert in hand-to-hand combat, and add to this her mimic abilities, and yeah, she's not one to be messed with. Because she's so good at adapting and fitting to any situation, the handler sent her to stalk Diego Hargreeves, and when he was committed to an insane asylum for trying to stop the assassination of JFK, she soon became a member of the institution. Lila led to the character's escape, and this made Diego trust her. As the handler's mole, she kept tabs on their operations in the past and even kidnapped Diego at one point in the hopes of getting him to sign up to the Temps. Instead of falling madly in love with her though, he simply used it as an opportunity to learn about what caused the apocalypse in the 60s, and after this, she felt very betrayed. The handler twisted the knife even further, pinning the death of her parents on 5, and this led to her absolutely hating the group. Lila joined her surrogate mother in the finale to take down the academy, and it's at this point that she learned about the truth. Upon asking the handler if what 5 told her was true, the last of the Swedes arrived and shot her, which is when Lila decided to grab the Temp's briefcase and flee to parts unknown. That's the last we saw of her, but she may have ended up in the Sparrow Academy, which we'll get into in just a bit. Now, the name of these actually comes from the comics themselves. Volume 3, titled Hotel Oblivion, centers around the rise of superpowered lunatics in the world, and during the final battle, all of the villains that the heroes have ever locked up are freed from their captivity. This of course ties into the title Hotel Oblivion, which is an interdimensional prison that houses the bad guys. The heroes are overwhelmed, but a group known as the Sparrows show up and save them. On top of this, Gerard Way has officially announced that the 4th volume in the run will be known as the Sparrow Academy. In an interview with Forbes, Way stated the following: "It deals with a very big reveal in the Umbrella Academy universe, something that's been secret for a long time. Our siblings learn a lot about what was happening behind the scenes, as well as discovering the true nature of some characters that have been with them since the beginning. The series finally starts to answer the question, what about the other babies born on that day, in that moment? The Umbrella Academy siblings are not alone in the world anymore." Now as for the show, I do believe that the Sparrow Academy is connected with Harlan in some way. At the end of the series, we see that the character is levitating a sparrow, and in this timeline it is possible that he became the first superpowered being on the planet and thus set an example for what was to come. It could be that the Sparrow Academy are named after him, but we won't know until we see the next season for ourselves. Sparrows are actually laced throughout the series at several key points, and popbuzz.com recently put together a full list on every location of the little bird, which does hint towards their importance in the world. Now, how they were formed we don't know, but personally I believe that after meeting the original Hargreeves in the 60s, Sir Reginald decided that they were complete screw-ups and thus adopted 7 other individuals. As he never met Ben due to the character being a ghost, he didn't have the foresight to avoid choosing him and thus scooped him up, though it seems like this may have also been a bad choice. Now, as for the group, the big elephant in the room is of course, well, Ben. In the original timeline, the character died whilst out on the job. However, here he is, live and kicking, looking like a My Chemical Romance fan that just discovered their top 10 songs video by Watch Mojo. Sorry Gerard, Ben is probably the most that we know about the group power wise, as we can take a lot of his abilities from the original timeline and just bring them across. Now, when the character was part of the original lineup, he was called number 6. In case you don't know, when Hargreeves formed the group, he assigned them a number from 1 to 7. This was originally thought to be their power level, with 1 being the top. However, over the years, it became clear that this was actually the ranking of their obedience to him, and if anything, the more powerful were further down the list. With Vanya, who was 7, not being in this timeline, Ben therefore becomes the most powerful, and it's pretty clear that it's gone to his head, and also his fringe. Now, Ben actually possesses the ability to summon eldritch monsters from another dimension, the portal to which just so happens to be under his skin. Thus, when he attacks, it looks like tentacles are emerging from his stomach. Growing up, due to Ben's naivety, he was easily manipulated, and Hargreeves often put him on the front line, which clearly led to his death. This Ben that we see likely possesses the same powers, though by the looks of it, he's in control and not Hargreeves. It is possible that in the original timeline, due to the family being very submissive to their father, that he just got in line and didn't fight back. Perhaps the Sparrows gave as good as they got, and this empowered him to take the lead and even hang a lovely picture of himself up in the main hall. Either way, he's clearly the leader, but who exactly is he in charge of? Well, in the comic books, the Sparrows are introduced to Vanya as a real family. They all wear red, she's from Russia, and therefore there may be some connection there, especially since the show seems to center around the tensions between America and the country. The first person that we know for definite is Carla, and she is pretty much the Allison of the group. Carla is able to alter reality through her voice, but instead of saying "I heard a rumor," the character says "I said so," and this bends everything to her will. In case you don't know, in the comics, Vanya is paralyzed, and Carla actually manages to fix her legs just by willing it so. She takes Vanya to Norway, which is where we are introduced to the Sparrows, and we get a tease of who exactly they are. Now, next up in the lineup is number 1, who seems like the Luther of the group. However, unlike the one we've come to know and be a bit so-so on, I guess, I'm not going to say love, he hasn't been experimented on and is more of a normal person. Next up is the weird looking blob-like character, and though they seem pretty messed up, this is actually because they're a human voodoo doll that's able to inflict injury on others by hurting themselves. They've clearly had to completely destroy their body and face in order to do this, and yeah, it's really weird. I actually think that Lila may be a stand-in for this character, and though her powers aren't the same, I do think that when it comes down to it, she may actually be revealed as a member of the group. Lila of course has knowledge of the family, and she may have helped Sir Reginald to pick up the right children for his mission. The big plot hole in Reggie not choosing the original children is that he wouldn't know how to avoid some of them, and thus I think Lila may have gave him a helping hand due to her knowledge of the future. Now, that's all just a theory and I'm not 100%, but I think it would be interesting to see. There's also a member that's able to vomit up a black bile-like substance that melts armor and severely damages people that come into contact with it. Then there's the member that can turn into what is either a murder of crows or, more fittingly, a flock of sparrows. There's also a blonde girl who appears beside them, though we don't know exactly what's going on with her. Lastly is the levitating green cube, which we know even less about than all the rest. there are several theories floating about, excuse the pun, and some believe that in the absence of Grace, that this may have taken up the position of their mother, leading them to be somewhat anti-heroes. However, I actually think that this may be the equivalent to 5. We know that other dimensions and realities are laced throughout the series, and it is possible that, just in the way that 5 could jump through time, that the cube can jump through dimensions. I believe that, similar to how 5 became trapped in his younger body, this cube was originally a person that became trapped in a 4th dimensional form and is now able to move through time and space. This would counter 5's abilities and make for the perfect opposite to him, which the majority of the Sparrow Academy actually seem to be on the whole. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, but yeah, floating cube guy being 5, that makes the most sense to me. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories, so make sure you comment below and let me know. If you want to know where we think the show could be heading in the future, then make sure you check out our predictions for season 3 after this. Don't forget that every month on the 15th we give away free Blu-rays, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning the MCU Infinity Saga box set is leave a like and subscribe with notifications on. If you want to support the channel and get to see content early, then please consider clicking the join button below. You can also come chat to us on our Discord server, linked in the description, or at Heavy Spoilers on Twitter. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. You've been the best, I've been Definition, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.